Earlier this year, I said I was kicking off 2 projects. One of those projects was actually based upon the walk that I'm doing right now. It's a walk along some country roads, and I've actually done quite a lot on that over the last few months, although I haven't necessarily always related it to the project. I'll do an update on that another time. But the other project was all about the beautiful Mazones Ficus tree. And that's what I'm going to do something with today. Today's going to be about trying some things out, some experimental stuff. May work, but even if it doesn't work, it might help me to come up with some new ideas to come back another time and add to the portfolio of that beautiful tree. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do, and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. This route that I'm walking along, which, as I said earlier, forms one of my projects for this year, actually leads to the Mazones Ficus, which I haven't been to for several months. Now, I could have driven there in about 5 minutes. It'll take me about 25 minutes probably to walk it there. The reason I'm walking it is I'm trying to get my exercise level back up. Over the summer, I've struggled to get enough exercise, and then I've been ill for a few weeks, and that's made it hard to get some exercise. So I'm just trying to get, a bit more active again, and a nice walk like this is a good way to do it. So here we are, the Mazones Ficus. It looks pretty impressive from the outside with this huge canopy, but the real magic happens inside. That's where it's, looks really, really nice. I've done some images here before. I've done like a nice wide panoramic shot of the interior. I've done some close-up stuff looking at just parts of the sort of twisting shapes of the tree. I've done some sort of more abstract stuff like with the pep ventosa technique, and today I want to try something a little bit different, so we'll have a little play. Okay, there's a small gap here in the canopy that leads through underneath. There's some much bigger gaps over to my left, but they don't really feel like gaps. They just feel like an opening, I guess, which is different. And what I'm thinking of doing is trying to shoot through this small gap using all of the leaves to frame it, and then having the beautifully gnarled trunk and that kind of fairy tale feel to the inside in the background. Almost certainly this is going to require focus stacking, and it's probably going to need exposure merging as well. And I kind of anticipated that, so even though it's middle of the day, and even though I often prefer to shoot handheld, I have brought a tripod with me because I think I'm going to need it for this. So I think we'll have a go at setting that up and seeing how it works. So before getting the tripod out, I'm going to try and just got to eyeball it through the camera first of all, just to see what it looks like, and if I can get the angle that I want. Probably going to have to be quite low down to work. Might have to take my sunglasses off to be able to see what I'm doing. This has proven a lot trickier to execute than I thought. The hole that I was thinking of shooting through just isn't working, but I found this one here further round. I'm going to do probably 3 exposures, one at an 80th of a second, one at a 40th of a second and one at a 20th of a second, but it doesn't look like I need to focus stack. And I may actually be able to get away with just using one exposure. Okay, I've come under the canopy now. This has the advantage of also putting me in the shade because it is really still quite warm. 24th of October today, so only 2 days before this video is due to come out. And yeah, still very, very warm for walking around, but a little bit shady under here. And I'm just looking to see what kind of opportunity I can find to shoot something a little bit different in here. Either wide angle or telephoto, focusing on details, you know, different ways of composing the shot. I'm sure there's got to be something that's worth doing. So I'm going to adopt a practice that normally works for me, and that's just take a walk around with the camera in my hand, looking at the screen on the back and seeing what leaps out at me. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple, and this one I think works quite well. What I've got is the tree with all that, you know, beautiful twisted, almost tortured shape going up. Yeah, there's some sky coming through, and then in the foreground we've got all this, you know, kind of patches of light, where the light's coming through the leaves and creating all these patches in the foreground. Now, in order to get highlights and shadows not blown out, I am going to need to do an exposure merge on this one. So I'm going to do one for plenty of shadow detail at a 1/6 of a second. Then I'll dial it back probably 2 stops. 1/25 of a second, and then I'll probably go back another 2 stops. To keep the highlight detail. Maybe a quick detail shot of these leaves here. There's obviously some leaves in the middle that haven't unfurled yet, so it creates kind of like a horn shape almost, just handheld, just for a bit of fun. Okay, the image I was going for when I first got here, looking through a gap in the canopy at the shape of the trunk, I think I may have found an alternative version of that by coming right the way around the other side of the tree. Yeah, that could look quite nice. It's perhaps a bit busier than I really wanted, but might well work. inevitably some of the leaves are going to intersect with the tree. I can't do anything about that. But the objective is to get it looking the best it can. Not too wide. I'm looking at probably about 15 mil. A little bit closer in. Okay, I've got a view through here that I really like. There is, however, just one branch coming in with leaves on that I'm not so keen on. So what I'm going to do, I've got it set up, ready to shoot. I think I can get it in one exposure, including hopefully in focus, back to front. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it with a 10-second timer, and as soon as I hit the shutter button, I'm going to jump through the gap, and I'm just going to carefully pull that branch back out of the way. And I'm going to be putting a lot of force on it. I don't want to break anything, but just bending it back gently just to get it out of the frame and me out of the frame as well. So let's see if it works. I'm not pulling it back too hard. That might have worked. Hopefully I got a couple, maybe 3 reasonably nice images today. Whether they'll make it into the little portfolio for the project or not, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Next week, hopefully we'll be having a look at another small Spanish town, which are always quite interesting to photograph. And after that, well, who knows? We're out of the summer now, so hopefully more possibilities will be opening up. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to give it a like, maybe give it a share on social media, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. And of course, thank you very much for watching. And until next week, bye.